All right, we have another example of a Republican not following Trump's exact directives or daring to kind of challenge him and getting an angry, as I'm getting a phone call. Hopefully it's not angry, but it's my mommy. An angry phone call from Donald Trump. Trump went on a profanity-laced rant at Susan Collins, an angry phone call. And this was about her voting in favor of a war powers measure this week after the U.S. invasion of Venezuela. 5 Republicans and 47 Democratic senators voted to advance legislation that would require the president to obtain congressional approval before taking further military action against the South American country. Obviously, but it's kind of exciting to see some Republicans like, by the end of this Trump term, do we really want to have completely obliterated every single check on the president's power that we had before? So they took a step in that direction, and Trump was furious because, yes, Congress is supposed to approve acts of war. He called her and then basically read her the riot act, said one Republican senator, describing it as profanity-laced rant. He was very mad about the vote. Yeah. So, of course, Trump doesn't like when anyone checks his powers. But obviously, Congress should be checking his power because he's going completely off the rails. Even now posting this image on Truth Social that is an edit of his Wikipedia page, or like a photoshopped version, where it says he's the acting president of Venezuela. So everything I've done as a joke just becomes true. You remember I did the joke about how he's going to now be the president of Venezuela? He's actually going, I'm the acting president of Venezuela. And then he's posting stuff like this, reposting someone who said soon, and it's just Trump on the roof of the White House. Which, what does that mean? If a liberal posted this, I would think they mean he's about to woo. What does this mean? I feel like if I posted this soon, you'd have all these people describing it as me hoping that Trump's going to jump. But I guess this was a Trump supporter, so this is... Do we know? Is there a reference here? Is there a cultural thing I'm missing?
I don't even know.
What does it mean? We don't know. Trump is weighing potential military intervention in Iran. And then, get a load of this. You might be thinking that everyone you're talking to seems shocked that after saying Trump was not going to start any new wars and no more regime change wars, he's now using our military to, quote unquote, take control of Venezuela. But some MAGA pastors say God is speaking through them and this is his will. And he wants the real oil, much like we should own the spiritual oil. Click the subscribe button. Click the subscribe button as we watch this clip.
They say you have seized Venezuela for the oil. Yes, this is true, that there is that which has been brought to the forefront of this earthly battle. But the enemy has sought and was seeking to bring war and to bring conflict.
This looks so much like a slightly heavier Jesse Waters. Does it not? This looks so much like... I
don't even know.
Jesse Waters.
Hoax alert. New hoax alert. Woo, woo.
All right, this is where it gets good. Let's listen.
And to bring conflict through Venezuela and to control the oil of the earth. But the spiritual oil and the natural oil does not belong to the forces of darkness.
What is the spiritual oil per se? What does that mean? Honey, I'm gonna go drill for oil. Which by that I mean pray. Oh my gosh. I'm about to frack. I'm about to frack the hell out of Jesus. That's great. That sounds like such a Texan phrase. It's like something I'd hear at church. Ladies and gentlemen of the Lord, tonight I invite you to go frack Jesus. See, oh wow. No, I love how these pastors speak. And I'm not saying that we should invade, but that we should take in the name of the Lord from the forces of evil. None of that even. What did you even mean by that? I'm just picturing, I was in the bed with 4 dogs, and I woke up with a scratch, and it was a demon. And I realized this was a message from the Lord, or Satan, or no, not the Lord, demon, Satan. That I had not been fracking for Jesus enough.
Radicalized.
That my Jesus fossil fuels were empty.
Spiritual oil and the natural oil does not belong to the forces of darkness or to those who thought that they could bring a one world order. This is my reset. And the oil of the natural and the oil of the Spirit is mine, says the Lord. Therefore I have said...
Well, I say... The oil is not yours, says the Lord. He said, he said. I always wonder about that. What if a different pastor gets a different message, which they do a lot, and then we fight each other over it?
Lord, therefore I have said I will shake the earth, that the gold and silver is mine, and you will see through the natural oil that gold and silver, and there will be a revaluing of currency, and there will be a flow not only of oil in the earth that will cause the pressure and cause that which has suppressed the people of nations.
Oh, now you're just speaking bullshit. Now you're just coming up with stuff. The beginning, I thought you had notes. You were going to make an interesting metaphor about how we should take the physical oil from Venezuela, much like we should take the spiritual oil from our demons, right? But now you're just saying random stuff. Listen to this part.
Sometimes I'll start a sentence and I don't even know where it's going. I find it along the way.
Earth that will cause the pressure and cause that which has suppressed the people of nations. I will lift it through the oil of the natural, but this is the work of the oil of my Spirit, says the living God, that is destroying yokes and undoing heavy burdens through the oil of my Spirit. And it will be seen in the signs of the natural oil and its refineries.
My bladder is full of urine, and I must let it excrete into a toilet. Oh, Lord! But in the same way, I need the urine of my heart, says the Lord, to get out of me. So I say to Satan, take my urine, take it! Take my bodily fluids, Satan.
Yeah.
Because while I might have created you, this is a creation of your Satanism. I lost it. See, I lost a little bit there. I kind of sympathize with them. You kind of lose your way mid-rant. And it's not fair because y'all are probably thinking, wow, Luke's rant wasn't good. But what we're going to do is actually you won't think that because later I'm going to have Jaden put music under it and then it's going to seem good. But that's how coherent that seemed. From Timu Jesse Waters. And I love it. Why do all of these people always wear so many layers? He has undershirt, second undershirt, collared shirt, second collared shirt, jacket. The spiritual oil, man, that could have gone somewhere cool too. You really could imagine it going somewhere cool. But it didn't. In my humble estimation.